Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is a very exciting time right now. We have just completed all the body work on these doors, and I did paint the inside of them. In this video, I'm going to take you through the steps on putting these doors together and getting them hung. The outside of the doors are not painted at this time, simply because I don't want to have to fool around with any of the assembly, the basic assembly at the least, meaning the door lock, mechanism, the door handles, and these pins, okay, the door pins and the bushings, okay. So I don't want to mess around with any of that because there is some drill and hammer work and stuff like that that needs to be done, and I don't want to be playing any games with my freshly painted outer door skins, okay. So let me just catch you up to speed here. So this is the passenger door. The door pin bushings, they were worn out, but they weren't blown to the point where the hinge itself started getting wallowed out, okay? So I'm just doing a standard replacement bushing, and these basically just clean up the holes. I gotta clean the paint out on this a little bit. Clean the paint out, gently tap your new bushings in place. I like to put Loctite on them, and then you're good to go. Now this roller keeps your door open when it's wide open, okay? Now on the hinge, we've already installed the new spring, okay? So that roller rides on the spring, and it keeps your door open. If you don't have this, the door is going to be flopping around all over the place. These tend to wear out, and the springs break regularly. So if your door is flopping around, check your spring. It's broken. It's probably missing altogether. So these are the standard bushings, guys, that we're about to tap in on this door. So let me show you some parts. The door roller comes just like this. It's just a piece of plastic with a brand new pin. All right. Now I did have to drill the mounts on both of the doors. This is where that pin goes. I did have to drill it out with a little bit oversized drill bit, and I'll get into that in a second. All right. Again, these are the standard style bushings. We replaced the standard style bushings on the passenger door. Now these are oversized bushings because we got a little bit of an issue with the driver's door, which you probably have too. Okay. It's really hard to see. That's a good one. See, these holes aren't exactly round anymore. They're wallowed out a little bit. So what we're going to do is install these oversized bushings and correct that, because if we put the standard size ones back in there, it's flopping all over the place and it's no good. All right, so how oversized are they? They're slightly oversized, guys. It's a couple thousandths. It's not much. It's giving you the series of splines here. Now, the standard one, I'll try to put them together so you can see. That'd be the size difference, guys. If you can see that. So a few thousandths bigger. That's going to get our driver's door nice and tight, just like it was from the factory again, okay? The lock mechanism itself, so you got your lock, the inner door lock, the outer door handle rod, and the inner door handle rod, okay? Now, notice these plastic retainers that hold the rods in, okay? These are them brand new. They're still available, guys, all right? So I believe LMR has them. There's your part number right there. That's them, okay? Very, very fortunate that we can find them. Now, this round, you can see where the inner door lock rod goes to, is a round bushing. See that? All right, that's these right here. And again, this is going to be your part number. I don't know who makes this. There's no name on it. I've been collecting these parts for a long time, guys. So, and I've been sourcing them from various places. I do shop on eBay. I do shop from LMR. Basically anybody who has it, I order it from. So wherever you can get it, okay? So that's pretty much some of the parts that you're going to need for this. It doesn't seem like much. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you. Okay, so you're going to probably have the same issue I had with the screws on the door lock mechanism itself. Okay, so these screws came out. They were real. Some of them were really stripped. I mean, this is only two that were left, I think. You can see how nasty that one is. So this thread, it's a metric thread. believe it's a 5mm. And when I got the new ones, these screws are special, guys. They have an oversized head on them. Okay, so what we did was I went to a straight 6mm with an Allen head. All right, so 6mm by 1/0. I'm just going to tap. I'm going to just run a tap through here. All right, so it can accept the new screws. All right, these are stainless screws. So not a big deal. It's just a little bit of a modification you need to do. And then also for the outer door handles, I picked up a couple of tamper-proof Torx. All right, instead of using rivets, and I put some elastic stop nuts on the inside. All right. So that takes care of that. All right. So that's pretty much what you're going to need for the basics on getting these doors hung properly. I'm not saying that my way is the way. What I'm saying is this is a way of doing this. All right. This is a thinking man's game. When you're doing restoration work, you're always thinking and planning ahead. You're ordering parts and you're making sure that every step along the way is going to work and blend together, and it's not going to leave you hanging. All right? I don't want to risk damaging any of the paint that we're going to put on the outside of these doors, so that's why I'm doing it this way. This is a way, guys. You do what works for you and what you find best. All right? This is probably not the fastest way of doing it, but for me, it's the most efficient, because if you do make a mistake, now it sets you way back, okay? So with that, let's get some bushings knocked in. All right, we're going to start off with a little bit of red Loctite. All right, this is the kind of Loctite I like to use. All right, I'm going to put that on there just like that. I have no space right now. It's pouring rain, and we're not letting that slow us down, okay? So bear with me while I contort my body, and hopefully I don't knock all this shit over. See what I'm saying? There's one down. Now, the other side, more of a pain in the butt because you got this angle to deal with of the door skin itself. So you gotta maybe get in there with like a punch, so on and so forth. I've been tripping over these doors for like 2 years. You know, they've been in every part of the garage as I've been doing the resto on this thing, and I cannot wait to get these things hung so they're out of my way and out of my life. So I've had it. All right, let me see if I try not to scratch anything here. All right, now it's time for a punch. Sorry I can't get this angle for you guys, but it's too tight in here. All right, very simply done. See the new bushings in there, both sides. Okay. Nice and nice. Well, now we're going to move on to something a little bit more difficult to deal with, but we have the right tools and we have the right parts. So that's the only thing I can tell you is tools and parts. This is a very important step here because, you know, if you don't fix this, your door is going to sag. It's going to be shit, okay? So you got to fix it. All right, so I'm a wise guy, all right? No worky. So we're doing this by hand, guys. Whatever. So I broke out a little die grinder with, I call these, it's like a little drum sander, cartridge style, Tootsie Roll, whatever you want to call it. All right, so just a little bit.
Nothing too crazy.
Now for this one, I'm going to try to put a C-clamp on this and squeeze it in. Same thing with this one, because just the angle of with the way the door skin is kind of screws us up here. So I'm going to try to bust out the big C-clamp and just squeeze it on in. Put that anywhere. No, that was it's only very smooth, no problem. I'll do this. This way, that side. More. Email. All right, that pressed in beautifully. I'm happy with that. See if our pin's tight, of course. No problem. We have a solution for that. It'll go. Just got to tap it just a little bit. Así ya. Haciendo esto así. Little hammer action. Little scratch action. It's alright, we'll touch it up. My bad, I got a little nuts with that right there. Alright, up next, we're going to put the door roller on. Okay? So we started off, we just put the pin in, hold that sucker there. Give it a few taps. Ah, see, I went too far. Very tight tolerance in there, so we'll knock this out. A little bit. Oops. Sorry guys, I've got no space right now. So, alright, we get that in there. I gotta move you. Pins in, bushings in, both sides, door rollers in. Alright, both doors are done. Now we get to move on to the lock mechanism itself. Get that squared away with the new screws. We'll get them painted up real quick so they look good. And then we'll be ready to install those. This is why, bro, this is why we do this. See that little scratch I made? No problem, I'll fix that. I'll just, when I tape these up, I'll sand this down a little bit. Boom. Alright, this way it's not a big deal if you make a scratch right now because we're going to paint. Alright, moving forward, we're going to get these lockbox mechanisms disassembled, cleaned up. We're going to spray them a little bit. We're going to spray bomb them so they look good. And then we'll put them back together with new fresh clips and we're going to tap them out on those mounting holes, and then we'll be ready to bang them in these doors. Alright, so I spent a few minutes just cleaning these things up, getting all the grease and all the years of nastiness out of there. And then quickly I just ran this, like my nail polish. Alright, so quickly I just ran tap into these mounting holes so it can accommodate the 6mm by 1 stainless steel screws for this, okay? So real easy. I didn't think I was going to have to film any of that because you guys get it. Alright, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble all the rods back on so we can stick this thing in the door. Alright, pretty simple situation here, guys. Just take this portion, stick that in the hole till it clicks. Come here, take this one, stick that in the hole, and this one, I'm gonna go here like this. Now we're not gonna use this one because that's for the power door lock, but I'm just gonna stick this in the hole anyway, so it's there. All right. So now we're gonna stick our rods in. Just try to one-hand this for you guys. The first rod, stick it in there like that, and then this portion of the clip just captures the rod. Get a nice little click, and there's your door lock. All right, come over here to the. This is going to be the rod for the door handle, the exterior door handle. Okay, same deal. Push that in there like this. All the way down. Give it a little click. It's a beautiful thing, guys. You know, the whole time I was doing this, I'm like, I felt like something was missing, and I just couldn't figure it out. And like as I'm putting it back together, I'm realizing I'm missing the outer door lock rod for the driver's side. I have it for the passenger side, but not the driver's side. So it's a little bit of a situation that's going to be difficult to find, but I might know someone who has that, but that's not going to stop me from putting this thing together. We're just going to keep on going, and then if I get the rod, I can slide it in there without taking everything apart. So not a big deal if I can get one, but I'll show you what that rod looks like on the passenger door. I've already got that together, so this is what we're aiming for. So we want to have the rod for the inner door handle set up. We want the lock, and if you can see, okay, this is the door handle itself. All right, that'll open and close, and then this is for the lock. This one, and all right. So this is the one I'm missing for the, see, unlock, lock. So I'm missing that one, and that's for the handle, like I just said. So open, rest position. All right, and I did a function test on this already, so everything's working, but we'll do this one. We'll get this one together, and we'll do a function test and all that stuff. It might explain why the door lock wasn't working when I got the car. That could be it, guys. All right, so surprise, these are the things that happen, but we'll try to. Worst case scenario, I'll have to like make one. I don't want to do that, so I'll try to find one. If I can't find one, I'll make one, but yeah, that's it. All right, so let's get this one together, because something like that ain't stopping us. All right, we got things to do here. Okay, so moving forward, there's absolutely no good way to film this, so I'm going to do the best I can to try to bring you along and show you how to put this assembly back together, because it's just, you got to be inside the door to make this happen. But so basically we got our new clips on and our new bushing here. So I have this in position and ready to install, okay? But we got to get this rod in the door first, because that's going to go up to our door handle down to the lock mechanism. So I'm just going to come over here, slide that sucker in there like that. Okay? So now the rod is there. Now this little plastic deal supports the rod, it catches it, you see? So the rod slides in and out, back and forth, and it just holds the rod in position, and it prevents the rod from slamming every time you open and close the door. Okay? Alright, so I'm just going to set that down and leave that there for a second. I'm going to take the lock mechanism itself, I'm going to come inside, All right, so now I have the mechanism in the door, all right, and it's clocked in the position it's supposed to be. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to hook up, we're going to hook this rod up, this rod to that bushing there, okay? So I'm going to put you down for that because it's you know, you got to fiddle with it, guys, okay? All right, so I'm putting a lock rod through the hole at the top here just to give myself some room so I can move this thing around. I'm gonna come in. I'm doing the best I can here to try to show you how to get this thing set up. So I have this, it's not bolted in yet, but it's in position. It's close to where it's gotta be. I got the lock rod through the hole where that's gonna come through. If you look down inside here, I got the door handle rod about where it's gonna be, okay? And then this rod's in position so it rides in the middle like that. And then when this is in that position, see how the door handle rod lines up right there. Okay? So now it's just a matter of holding the box itself up, getting the bolts in, and we're in pretty good shape. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to use Loctite. I normally would. But as of right now, being that I might have to take this apart again to get that outer door lock rod on, just make my life easier, I think. I'm just gonna like put these bolts in, snug it up for now, and if I'm lucky enough to get that, which I have a funny feeling I might, then we will. Also, guys, if you go back and watch the last video, part 1 to this, if you didn't watch it, you'll see that I believe it was this hole right here is the one that we had to weld, and looks like it went together flawlessly, so I couldn't be happier than that. And like I said, I'm not gonna go crazy tightening this down. Okay. So the rod for the inner door handle, you take this sucker, you're gonna put this in a position where you're gonna be able to catch the rod and just turn it. And it's just, there it is right there. That's it, it's in. Okay? So that's set up like that. The rod rides on there like that, nice and nice. Can't really see it anymore, but it's being held. You can see it there by that little plastic. So what's going to happen is you take your handle. This is where the rod's going to go. You push the rod through the hole, turn it, and now the rod's attached, right? So we're going to push down, and we're going to slide this back, and it just pops right in there. Okay, now it's the groove for that little notch is surrounded by the sheet metal. Okay, so there's a little screw. Pop that screw in there. I'll tighten that down another time, but so now the door handle's in. Okay, we're going to do a function check now. So as you can see, the door handle's in. When we pull it, the rod's moving. I can hear everything. Look inside there. I can hear it moving. It's good. All right, so we're going to have the door right now. That's the lock position, unlocked. We're going to close the door by pushing down on the locks. All right. Okay, that's locked all the way. You see that? So first thing we're going to do, the door's unlocked. We're going to hit the handle here and then you watch over here. Boom. All right. So that works, right? Now, we're going to lock it again. This is an important step, guys, because you don't want to put this together and then the thing locks and you can't get it open. Then it's a freaking disaster, okay? Big problem. All right. So now we're locked. We're going to lock the door. It's locked. I'm going to reach inside there. If you can see this. Okay, this is the door lock handle itself. Now look, I'm pushing down on it. Nothing happens. Okay? It's not releasing, you see? Alright. What I'll do is, I'm going to go back to the interior door handle. Not change anything. It should open. Boom. It opens. Okay? So now we're going to do it one more time. Got it locked? Alright? Door's unlocked right now. I'm gonna reach in there. I'm gonna try to open. I'm gonna push down on this rod. That should be like just like open up the door handle. All right. Boom. Okay. So function check passed. All right. So we're good to go with that. Now, from this moment, guys. All right. These doors are ready to hang on the car, and they will function as they're supposed to. One thing I'm going to point out, and I want you to know, and if you didn't watch the paint video, I talked about what I had to do on the A-pillar here of this car. So I cut this, I cut it here, and I cut it here. I had to replace all this brand new. So these doors, I've hung these doors already. I've already lined them up, okay? I had the fenders on and all that. Now we've done some body work, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that nothing's really changed to the point where it's going to affect the way it fits. In theory, it shouldn't. All right, even with the new bushings and everything. So it should be fine. Now, one thing, guys, is this. If you don't have to ever mess with these adjustments here, don't. If you don't have to. It's a real challenge getting everything back to normal when you're doing body work. All right, those front hinges could really give you a hard time. All right, so if you can avoid a headache, avoid it. Now I know in the restoration world, especially in the Fox bodies, that is a problem area. Okay, that happens to rot out. On this car, it was rotted out on both sides. That's why I had no choice but to pull them apart. Okay, so now it's metal on metal. Right, when that hinge, and there is rust back there. So if you don't have to do it, don't do it. But if you have to do it, you're just going to have to go through the lining up the door process all over again, and be ready for a fight with that, okay? One last little detail I forgot. I went ahead and cut some strips of sound deadening material and lined the inside of the door, the best I can get it in between the door brace. All right, this way when you open and close the door, tap on it, it doesn't sound like a soda can. All right, so what I'm using basically, it's like similar to a Dynamat product. Noiko, I guess that's what it is. It's pretty good. This is 80 mil butyl. It seems to be working out real nice. I mean, I did some of that. That's Dynamat tape. But the floor itself, similar product. It's all the same stuff, guys. Well, let me correct me on that. For what we're doing, to me, it's all the same. All right, it's going to do its job. It's 80 mil, and this is like you see. A lot of new cars these days. Everybody uses some type of sound deadening material. You don't need to do the whole thing. You just a couple patches here and there. All right. But if you were like some sound system guy, they're going to have an argument, okay? The sound system world is very particular about this stuff. I'll probably have some type of music in this car, guys, but to be honest with you, I'm not a system music guy, all right? the music I'm going to make with this car is the music I'm going to make with the engine. All right, because that's just my style. Okay, so throw some of that in there. It's really nice because you get that tin can sound effect. You don't want that. Okay, for a street car. All right, so really good product. It works good. This is like an eBay deal. That's it. I mean, it works really easy. I cut it with a razor blade and just stick it on in there. Talk about getting bailed out of a jam. Okay, I took a trip to Jupiter, Florida today and met Matt from Horseplay Auto, who, fantastic guy. He has an amazing assortment of Foxbody parts. It's actually quite overwhelming. He saved the day. I mean, where are you getting this? You're not getting this. You're not getting this, guys. So, ridiculously simple part. He had it. I was fortunate, so thank you very much, Matt. If you guys ever need something for your Foxbody that nobody else has, check him out. It's Horseplay Auto, Jupiter, Florida. Incredible. So, we're going to head and just slip this sucker in there. It takes about 2 seconds. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. And we will be back when we get to the painting. Alright guys, just a quick little update on how these doors came out. Sprayed the clear on them and all that. Not one bug. It's crazy. Alright? But, you know, there's dirt. So, go figure, right? So, that's just typically what happens. There's always going to be some trash. I don't know. I'm going to try to get a good angle on this stuff, guys, so you can see. Alright. Yeah, there's a nice piece of dirt. There's a bunch of dirt in it. There's some more dirt. We just passed. Yep, there's another one. Bing. Right there. Oh, it'll come out, guys. Alright, but the big takeaway, what I want you guys to see, we did our body work. Look at the lights. Alright? Watch the lights, guys. Watch how that reflection does not change. I'm going to get a better shot so I can walk, see? When we go down it, look at how that reflection doesn't change, you see? That's how you know you did a good job. That's how the paint came out. Got a bunch of dirt in this one too. See all the little nibs? A little dirt. There's some good one. There's a good one right there. Alright. All that'll come out, guys, though. So watch the paint video. I always revert back to that. So next step here is going to be to wet sand and buff. I'm going to let these sit for like just a couple days. I mean, oh, I forgot. I got to paint these black. All right, so we'll have to come in. We'll deal with that. It's just never ending. It's always something, right? Oh, got the gas door done. Didn't forget about that. All right. That poor gas door. I've been forgetting about that gas door. Every time I try to do something, I always want to paint it, and I keep forgetting about it. All right, guys, we're doing it. So I got the trim done in black. Got these all wet sanded now. Get all the dirt out of them. All right, and then I'll come in and buff them. Alright guys, well, I'm going to continue buffing on these doors and getting them all squared away. In the next video, we're going to hang these doors on the car. We're going to put all the moldings on, the window regulator, the door handle, the lock cylinder. So stay tuned for that one. If you found this video helped you in any way, please hit that thumbs up button. I'll appreciate it. So if you're interested in any of the techniques when it comes to the wet sanding, buffing, and the products that I'm using, refer back to the paint video because I kind of cover all that. But if we need more, guys, drop it in the comments. I'll be happy to go a little bit further in depth with it, okay? All right, so until then, guys, all right, stay tuned for the next one. Be safe out there, all right? Peace.